Hello, hello, hello. Milk Money Baptist y'all again today. It's last minute deal, y'all. I swear I'm going to get an actual time to do this. I was sitting around kind of bored. I've been up with my buddies this morning working with him. Come home, I was sitting around the house bored, so I decided to go live for a few minutes. See if anybody was out there want to join in. So I decided I'd sit here and talk for a few minutes and just see what happens. I said, Jericho's at work. I was bored. So, if anybody does join in or anybody watch this later, I'm going to try to do lives. Anything y'all want to talk about? Know somewhat, a little bit about lasers. About to get a CNC machine. May end up doing some 3D printing in the future. So maybe y'all will help me with that. But if you want to talk about pigeons, chickens, I know how to do the show bantams. I know a lot about pigeon racing, about pigeons. That's what the channel started, but I ended up having to get rid of those due to some health issues. We have got a handful of goats also, but I don't do so much farm work as far as planting things, so I'm just a little too lazy for that. I know we call our channel farm, but I have got two raised planters out there that Jerica I got for her. She wanted to plant a few things, and she did last year, but didn't work out too well. The channel now has went to more of a woodworking and laser channel. So I do know a little bit about woodworking if you want to talk about that. Lasers, of course. Do a little bit of wood lathe turning. Like I said, we're going to do some fishing. I know a lot about photography, as you see in the little shelf here behind me. I've got to clean all that up, get things reorganized, but I've got a lot of Nikon stuff. I do know a little bit about Sony's and Fuji and other stuff of that nature, but now my forte is Nikon. Currently on a Z9, a D850, D750, D500. I gave the D7100 to my in-laws. I gave the 3200 to a buddy. There is an old D80 over there. And I know I'm missing stuff. I've just got way too many cameras. They do something with all those too. But anyway, so we can talk about camera stuff. I said Nikon mainly, but we can talk about which one you want to. So if anybody does come into the live later, or when I start doing these lives, feel free to join. Just want to do a little bit explaining of what we're going to be talking about. And pretty much, like I said, the pigeons are here behind me. There's just a few pictures. There's more hanging other places around the office in here. We can pretty much talk about almost anything. If I don't know about it, I'll be glad to listen to you talk about it, and I can learn some stuff maybe. So, like I said, right now I'm just bored. Decided I'd get in here and see who I could bother. But nobody's come in yet, of course. Like I said, it's a last minute deal. Didn't expect anybody really to. I think I may try to do these on Wednesday nights. Wednesday evenings, a buddy of mine, him and a couple more guys, they do theirs on Sundays. So I may try to do mine on Wednesday, stay away from that so I don't bother them. But like I said, if y'all or anybody watches this, whatever night is good for y'all, let me know. And I can do them just about any night y'all want to, or any day. Well, I work 7 to 3, and I'm off almost every afternoon and every weekend. So unless we have something else planned, we can try to do these. And maybe if it actually starts working out, we'll do a consistent deal to where we do them all the time. At least once a week type deal. But nobody's come in yet that I've seen. Like I said, right now I'm just talking. So, oh goodness gracious. Don't really know a whole lot more to talk about. I don't really, so I'm trying to think if y'all let me know. We can try to come up with something. But like I said, I'm going to do this here for about 10 minutes. If somebody shows up, then we'll talk. And if they want to stick around a while, we'll keep talking. If not, I'm going to do it for about 10 minutes. We're at 5.5 now. I'm going to let it go for about 10 minutes and see if someone joins in, that kind of thing. But if you go back, and dear God, please don't hate me for it. But if you go back and watch my last live, still my first live, this microphone was so messed up. It was me. It wasn't a microphone. I had it going through like 15 different sources. And there's echo in there that just sounds like I'm in a bucket down a well on the other side of the world. So I do apologize about that. I did check this a while ago and done a quick recording. It did sound good to me. If it does not sound good to you, let me know, and we'll see what we can't do on that one. But feel free to comment, let me know. The lighting in here, I do have shades in my office. I don't have any curtains up, but I need to get some either blackout curtains or something. If I do these during the daytime, it's just the lighting in here is so jacked up. So I will take care of that too. Get some blackout curtains, put those up. But anyway, yes, ma'am, Miss Bonnie, I do apologize, but yeah, I had to get rid of, me and Jerica both had the farm animals. She loves her goats. She's got the little pygmy goats, and she's got a handful of like laying hens, the Wyandottes and stuff. My main part of the farm was racing pigeons and show bantams. And back in January of this year, I got to where I couldn't breathe. And I finally one night, I literally could not breathe. I got up, I went and sat in my recliner, got something to drink. Figured if I sat up for a little bit, I'd feel better. It was getting worse and worse. Pardon me for a second. Excuse me. It was getting worse and worse. And I texted Jerica. She had already went to bed. It was about 9:30 that night. And I texted her, and she didn't hear the text. So I finally called her. And she answered the phone, didn't know why I was calling her. I told her I was in the living room. I need her to come help. So she got up and got dressed. We went to the ER, and my O2 had dropped down to like 64. And they ended up keeping me, and I spent 13 days in ICU. And I had a real bad respiratory lung infection dealing with my lungs. So they told me at the hospital, all these big doctors, I had 6 or 7 doctors and several nurse practitioners and then some other doctors. I talked to 1,000 doctors that couple of weeks. And they told me that if I did not get rid of my birds, that they would give me, I'd be dead within the next year. So I end up, when they finally did release me, I was in a racing club here in Central Alabama, Pigeon Racing Club. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And I was in that club, and I texted him about middle ways when I found out how to get rid of my birds. When I was in the hospital, I texted the club, no big deal, and said, hey, let y'all know that I got to get rid of all my stuff. And they're like, well, we can go over there and go get it today if you want us to. I'm like, no, Jerica's taking care of everything. She's feeding everything, watering all of it, so it's all good. And they're like, we really want to go get those birds. I'm like, you'll wait till I get out of the hospital. And so the day I was getting out of the hospital, we literally got in the car, and of course Jerica was driving. I had a portable oxygen tank on, and I texted the guys and said, hey, I'm on the way home finally. If y'all want to come over tomorrow, give me a little bit of rest tonight. I said, come over tomorrow, and I'll try to get out here and see what I can't do. And so they literally was at the house or here when I got here. They come over that night. They wanted those birds real bad. And so I'm out here with a portable oxygen tank and a dip net, trying to catch the pigeons, and I had close to 100 of my race birds, and so most of them left that night, and then another couple of guys come over the next day and got everything else I had, and then another guy come back and bought all the fly pins and everything else. I got rid of everything I had. So all my show bantams, I gave those away to another buddy of mine. He's got them running all over his yard. He's got like a little small farm over there. He's got a bunch of stuff, peacocks, chickens, everything. And he's got all the show bantams. Some of them had actually won trophies in poultry shows and all that. But he has those, and then like I said, my other birds are scattered out in different members of our club. So I've kept the name Milk Money Mini Farm, but I've thought about changing it because like I said, we don't really have a farm anymore. Jerica still has 6 of her goats and I think 10 of her chickens, and she's actually about to get rid of all that. She says she doesn't have time for them anymore. So, but she's bottle fed most of her pygmy goats. By the way, thank you for dropping in. I don't know if I guess you're still here, but any other questions, I'll be glad to answer whatever. I said I still know a lot about the animals, a lot about everything. I can explain to anybody that wants to know. I really miss them, so I'm happy to talk about all of it. I just can't be around them anymore, not for long periods of time. All right. Well, yeah, I recently built. My original plan was when I bought this house about a year and a half, 2 years ago, was the shop out there was actually supposed to be a woodworking shop. That's what when I come looked at it, I told Jerica, I said, yeah, we'll get it if I can have that shop. It's a 24 by 28 metal shop, fully insulated. It was like brand new. And she told me, yes, I could have it if I'd get her the house. So we compromised, and I went and got the house. And then after thinking about it, I had been living in town. I grew up in the country, so I had all my farm stuff, years ago. And then I've been living in the city for several years. And so I decided that we're back out in the country, I could have my farm again. So I decided to get the birds. And instead of doing woodworking, I set that whole place up in there because I knew couldn't any possums, coons, wild dogs, any of that get to my stuff. I ain't got to worry about it. Everything was very secure. That's what I liked about it. And plus I had cameras and alarms and all in case the two-legged creatures, us, peoples, because they love to steal the birds. So I had that set up to where I felt secure with all of it. So I invested a lot of money and bought a lot of expensive birds and set everything up. But after I got rid of the birds, I decided that I didn't really know which way I wanted to go. And a buddy of mine over at Clack Shack, me and him grew up together, been best friends like the 4th grade. And he's been doing these laser videos. If you want to see some good woodworking, go see the Clack Shack and watch his stuff. I mean, he's got some great videos. He's been doing it for a few years now. And so I had to restart everything. And he's like, dude, I'll give you a couple of lasers if you'll just use them. So he's helped me out and got me in the lasers. And here just about a month ago, I think, I actually got out there and built Sputnik trap for the pigeons and stuff like that. But y'all thought about birdhouses? It's just a lot of this stuff I can't use. I don't want stuff just sitting around my shop. And so I actually have thought about birdhouses and stuff of that nature. My other house before I moved here, I had birdhouses in every tree, and they were just scattered everywhere. I left those there. They were simple birdhouses, but they done the job. Some of them turned into squirrel houses instead of birdhouses. But I have thought about doing it, so yeah, that's a good idea. I actually wanted to try to tackle a Martin house, if you know what that is. It's going to be like a bird condo, pretty much. Bird apartment, condo, whatever you want to say. So that may be a project here in the working pretty soon. me and Clark was talking about. I was over his house this morning helping him get caught up. He's been in a conference all week, and I was helping him get caught up on some stuff. And another guy stopped by for a few minutes, friend of his, and we was all talking. And there's a place that we didn't even know about here close to us that has very nice wood, supposedly very, affordable. It's like the birch and all this other stuff anyway. But I've been going out building enclosures for the lasers, buying this 3/4 inch birch plywood and stuff for like $60 a sheet. This other place has it like way cheaper and all this and all that. So I may have to go see them here pretty soon and see what they have and stock up on some stuff. And like you said, I may do some birdhouses. I have no problem with that. So anything in particular you'd like to see? Like I said, I'm always open for ideas. I know how to make it, and I love it. I actually enjoy making all this stuff. Just ever since my surgery, my brain's been kind of foggy because my O2 is finally getting back up. Let's see, cannot afford a laser machine, but I do have small project woodworking equipment. Yes, I know what a Martin house is. Yes, ma'am. That's why I said I've got the simple houses at the other place. They literally take you 10 minutes to build. I guess I could make a couple of those and show people if they've never built one. It'd be something they could actually do. But I wanted something a little more challenging for me. And I've actually never built a Martin house. We've got a bunch of them in the park and other stuff. So, but yes, ma'am. The lasers are really not as expensive as you think. And if a lot of people are intimidated by them, and I didn't want to get into it. That's why I told my buddy, I said, look, I'm not smart enough. I will never understand a laser. And he's like, I promise you it's not as hard as you think it is. I'll help you out. And he did. It took me, which I burnt my logo the second day I had the laser. I got everything set up and put it out there. And I mean, it was just that simple. And then I eventually he showed me how to write a few files. I started writing them, and I enjoy that more than anything else. It's like a puzzle, writing the files and stuff. But the lasers aren't that bad. You can get the little cheaper 5-watt. They just take longer to burn stuff and everything else. But there, you can get those for a few $100s. Between $200 to $300. If you just want something to play around with it and just mess around. So, if you ever want to look into those. But yeah, you was talking about you've got a small project woodworking equipment. That's about what I have out here. I don't have anything massive. Table saw, like I said, just a basic little setup. I don't have anything special. Well, yes, ma'am. Proper way to use shop equipment. Well, that's just it. I don't know if I know the proper way. I was brought up, and I've still got all 10 fingers and all 10 toes. I don't know how, but I was brought up to just get the job done as safely as you could. So that's the biggest thing is there used to be an old show years ago on TV called In Living Color. And they had one of the safety guys. I can't think of his name right now, but it was, oh gosh, he plays in a bunch of movies. That's my brain's gone crazy. But anyway, on that show, he was always, on that acting part of the show, he was always hurting himself on accident. But I'm probably like Tim the Two-Man Taylor. So if you know who that is, I'm just surprised I don't go to the ER as much as he does. But I could try to get professional for a video at least. But yeah, I try to make sure because when I go to edit my videos, I'll look at something I'm doing. I'm like, oh, that's not how you do that. So I have to like exit that out and go back and recut something or something the proper way. Because I don't want people to watch my method and try to do it and lose a finger. But like I said, I've still got all 10. I don't know how, but I've still got them. So. Like I said, I mean, my stuff is not really a lot other than table saw. I guess even a handsaw, I mean, everything you've got can be dangerous. A handsaw, you can lose a finger if you're not paying attention, you're tired and working. But table saw is probably, I guess, one of the most dangerous things that I actually own. That thing will get a hold of you if you ain't careful. I was actually watching a video of another guy on YouTube I like to watch, Blacktail Studios. And he actually made a video showing the kickback on a table saw and how dangerous it is. He was using like 5 bananas as fingers, and he was taking a push stick and actually, pushing it through and make that twist, and it would shoot back. I mean, and some of them pieces of wood was just like frisbee shooting back by him. How he didn't get hit, I don't know, but he actually rented a slow motion video camera for like 2 days. And so they were actually showing slow motion of the wood getting kicked back. It was actually a really interesting video. So you might want to check that out. It's Blacktail Studios. And he does a lot of woodworking stuff. I really like watching him. And he's got a lot nicer shop than I do. So, but I'm really happy. I'm actually fitting to write these down when I get done. Some of these ideas you want to see. Because like I said, since February, my mind's been kind of foggy. I have problems just coming up with ideas anymore. So that's why I said I'd get on here, do some lives, and maybe some of y'all could give me some ideas. Help me along. That's my biggest thing, is once I get my mind around it, I know how to do it. It's just me coming up with an idea. If you watched a couple of my videos ago, I've got a video where I actually took some snacks and I put them on the laser and engraved some stuff on top of those snacks. And that wasn't my idea. It was a buddy of mine, Clack. He told me I should do that. I was like, oh, I'll try it. What is it, Scarlett? So, but anyway, anything else? I gotta find a pen and paper and write all this stuff down so I remember it. So right now, we got birdhouses, proper ways of using some equipment, which actually could be a really useful video. But I'm going to tell you right now, Miss Bonnie, if I lose a finger, it's going to be because of you. I'm going to be concentrating too hard on how to do it right, and that'd be the one time I get hurt. Well, I do that. Like I said, I'm actually in law enforcement. I have been for 20 plus years. So my voice can get very loud when it needs to. But I try to stay soft for the most part. Now, if you ask Jerica, she'll tell you a whole different story. Me and her yell across the house at each other all the time. We can't hear over the dogs and everything else. But as far as explaining things, that's one thing that I tell my buddy Clark, I said, some of these videos that I watch, I said, these people talk to you. It's like going to a doctor's office and they talk to you in doctor language. They give you all these long 40-foot names and telling you all this and all that. And it's like, what are you talking about? And they're finally like, you've got cancer. Okay, I understand that. Now you're speaking plain English. So that's where I try to explain things like I would want them to explain to me. And I still forget things every now and then. I apologize about that, but I try to explain them. I break it down kindergarten style because that's sometimes how I need it brought to me. So I try to explain every inch of whatever I can to help everybody best I can. See, I can't tell you how many times I have drilled a screw through my hand or fingers. Yeah, I've been lucky so far. I think I might have got a poking here or there, but I've never had one that's been real bad. So thank goodness. But I've got a couple of scars, and the biggest thing actually, I've got a scar. You can't really see it, but it's across this knuckle right here. And I had a Z28 back when I was in my early 20s. That car was fast. And for some ungodly reason, the tag, there was a little overhang on one of the little screw bolt deals for the back of the tag. And I decided, instead of taking that thing off and taking a pair of snippers and snipping it off or whatever, I decided I would just cut it off with a steak knife. So I went in the house and got like one of Mama's big steak knives. I come out there and I'm trying to cut that thing, and it finally went through, and it come across that finger right there. I said, it didn't cut me real bad. I didn't need stitches. I don't think I've ever had a stitch in my... Well, no, I did. Up under here when I was very, very little. My beard covers it up now, but I caught my chin on the kitchen table running with a pair of socks on the linoleum floor. So I did get stitches right there. I can't remember because I was too little, but I've got a scar. But like I said, I don't think since I can remember, been old enough, I've never actually had a stitch. Usually just either like electrical tape and duct tape or something, super glue, whatever holds it together. So but I've been lucky. But I've got a lot of scars. I got one, I think. It's only across the back of my arm right here. Can't really see it, but it goes all the way across. I was actually cut with a rock. And then I've got them across my wrist. I used to be a mechanic years ago. I can't remember where all, right across this wrist, across here. A hydraulic cylinder was broken. When I was trying to take it loose, it slipped and nicked my wrist over here. Luckily, it didn't hit the middle, hit me on the side. So, like I said, I put duct tape around that day and kept on working. So, I've got another buddy that usually gets on here, and he's an older gentleman. Matter of fact, his handle's too old to do this, I believe he said. And we tell him all the time he's not too old for nothing. Yes, ma'am. Actually, Jerica, if you go back and watch a couple of my farm videos, you'll see her in some of those, my fiance. And years ago, she actually used to own her own antique furniture store. And she would restore some of the furniture and stuff of that nature. So I've been trying to talk her into doing some of the videos with me. But yes, the doing all the seats and all that on the old chairs and stuff like that, that would be something that she would actually enjoy doing. And my shop's big enough. That's what she's got stuff in here right now. Her dresser in the bedroom. She actually redone that and painted it all up, give it an antique look and all that. So, but yes, ma'am. Let's see, replacing this seat. And actually, she has an antique chair sitting down by the washroom in the bottom that needs a new cover and everything. So that may be a project for here soon. I hadn't really thought about that. I was going to just go out there and fix it, be done with it, but... And that's my biggest thing is I don't have the videos because I'll get out here before I think about it. And I'll just run out to the shop and I'll start working on something and I'll get about 3/4 of the way done with it. And then I remember, well, I should have made a video on this. But unless I take it completely back apart and start all over again, and I'm like, no, I've already got almost put back together. It's already fixed. And so I just go ahead and skip that video. And I keep doing that over and over and over. So that's my big, I need to hire a cameraman one of these guys, or one of these days, I reckon, to just follow me around and do it. So I've not got that big yet. I ain't even got big yet, period. But I'm really not big enough for a cameraman yet. But one of these days, maybe, one of these days. So they have a place for sale not too far from here that used to be an old pumpkin patch. And this guy, I mean, there was kids that come from all over the state to this pumpkin patch during the September, October, I think around usually November, 3 months out of the year. And I mean, this guy was making all kind of money. And he had corn mazes and all kind of stuff for him to do. And I think his wife got sick. And he kind of closed the patch down, and then I think she ended up passing away. And he was going to sell it, and I think he ended up passing away. And now his kids have it up for sale, but they're wanting a little much that I can give for it. But Jerica has been praying for that place for forever. She's wanting to go back and put the pumpkin patch back in it and do some wedding venues and all this, or make a wedding venue there. And just, it's several acres. I'm not sure how many, 26, 27 acres, something like, maybe more than that. So if something ever happened, I come up with the money for that one, which that's a lot of money, but if I could ever get finance for that and get it, there would be a lot of more woodworking videos. I mean, I would have a project or 15 projects every day. So that's the biggest thing here. That's why on the one of the other videos, a couple of videos ago, I made the Sputnik trap for the pigeons and actually gave that away because I didn't need it. And that's the biggest thing here is I don't really like selling a lot of my stuff. I mean, people say it looks good, like my photography looks okay, and my laser stuff looks all right. But to me, it could always be a little bit better. So I feel like it's subpar. It's just not good enough. So I don't really sell my stuff. I give it all away most of the time. I'll go out and buy the stuff for it, and then I'll end up giving it away. So yeah, I'm gonna try to start going live probably Wednesday nights. I know it's church on Wednesday, so I may do it on Thursday evenings or something. But I got to pick out a good night for everybody and just go with it and stay with it. But I enjoyed you being here. Enjoyed talking to you. Appreciate you watching and staying there with me. And says we have another viewer. No, just me and you. It said, okay, just me and you. So, but like I said, but anyway, y'all, it's been a little over 30 minutes, almost 31, going on 32 minutes. I said I had one person come in, so enjoyed talking to her. Thank you, Miss Bonnie Bond, for coming in and chat with me for 30 minutes. Well, hello there, feller. How you doing? I was just talking about you to Miss Bonnie a while ago. She was in here for a few minutes, and I was telling her about you. Where you been at? What you been doing? Because I've been over at Clack's house this morning. He's been at a conference all week, and he got a little behind, so he had stove covers and cutting boards and a ton of tumblers to do. I didn't know I'd be on either. I got back from Clack's. He had to go do stuff this afternoon. He had a family event to go to or something. And so I've been over helping him all morning trying to get caught up. And then he was going to his little event. I got home and was watching TV. Didn't really feel like going to the shop because it's so hot today. So I come here in my office and I was on the computer for a minute. I'm like, you know what? I'll just do a quick live for 2 seconds. See what's going on, and then nobody joins in, I'll get back out of here. And then I said about 10 minutes, I was using my time. If nobody joins in by then, I leave. So Miss Bonnie was in there with me. I think she's still in here with us. And she's been chatting with me and giving me some good ideas. I appreciate it. If I pick you up... It wasn't anything that big. Where do you live at, by the way? What area? You here in Alabama or what? We're here. Me and Clyde both live here in central Alabama. We live about 15 minutes from each other, maybe. If even that far, 12, 15 minutes, something like that. But it was just like I said, he was doing the stove covers and the... Hello, Mr. Chuck Peterson. How you doing, fella? I don't think I've met you yet. I appreciate you coming in. But too old, like I said, we never too old to do anything. But like I said, I went over this morning and just helped him. He had to do some stove covers, and I was doing his tumblers while he was doing stove covers. He did some in a video the other day for a local farm place here. And they told him that they had another batch they wanted him to do. So... Well, I would come pick you up, but, my private jet is broke down at the moment. So, and it's just a little too far to be driving a car. So, but New Hampshire, about 20 minutes from Mount Washington. I'm going to start doing a little more traveling. Like I said, we've kind of shut the farm down, and Jerica's talking about getting rid of her goats and her chickens, so... All we'll have will be my K9 and then her dog. Her dog got so old now she just lays around. So my mother will come over here and let her out. Yeah, like I said, we was talking about Clark a while ago. Me and him's been best friends since about the 4th grade. And we grew up together. We rode motorcycles, played football. We fished. We've hunted. Me and him have done a lot of stuff like brothers. So, let's see. So next Saturday I signed up to do a craft fair. Hey, good deal. I think you said something about it a while back. Oh, hang on just a second. speaking to Jerica. Yes, ma'am.
Why you say my name?
I'm on a live. And I just told them I was going to have to answer the phone for a second.
Do you need anything from the Dollar General?
No, I'm good.
Alright.
Get some juice. All right. Sorry about that. Jerica on her way home from work. Anyway. But yeah, me and Clyde's been friends for like the fourth grade, and he's been in a meeting or a conference this whole week. He got behind on a few things, so I went over this morning, volunteered to go over and help him get caught up. So I was doing tumblers, and he was doing stove covers and cutting boards and everything else. So he's gone to I think some kind of family event right now. So I come home and was bored and decided to get on here and do a live. And like I said, I didn't really plan on doing it, but decided what the heck, let's just see if anybody was around. Yeah, I've actually thought about, I want to go to Canada. I do photography also, and man, excuse me, pardon me, I'm so sorry. I've been told that, Canada's got some beautiful landscapes and stuff, and I've seen a lot of pictures too, plus, but yeah, I want to go up there one day, or not one day, I'd spend a couple of weeks at least, but I would love to go up there and actually look around, do a little photography, so, and plus it's got to be cooler up there than it is down here. Yeah, the little short that he put out a while ago, that was us doing those tumblers. We got about half of them. Let's see, there was 8 to a box. We done 22 of them. He has 13 left. We done all the light color ones because they're all the same settings. And I think he's got like 6 blues, dark blues. I think a red, a couple of greens, a couple of blacks, and it's like 13 of them left. I told him I'd come back over in the morning. Yeah, I love the snow. I used to be a beach person. I grew up in Gulf Shores in my younger days before I moved up here. Like I said, I moved up here in like fourth grade. So I remember Mardi Gras down there at Mobile, the beach, and all this, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, and all that. And then for years after that, whenever I would go places, I would go to the beach. That was my favorite place. I love to fish. And I kind of got burned out on it. And so now I'm more of a mountain person. I love the snow and all that. So I try to head up there anytime I get a chance to go up to the mountains. So I like to go up there, and I took pictures last time, but I haven't been up there in a few years. Like I said, I had an older camera then. It's been several years back, so my pictures wasn't as great as they could have been, I guess. But, well, matter of fact, it had been right after they had that real bad fire up in my mind's blew slap out. It's up in Tennessee. I can't think. My mind is just blew slap out right now. But anyway, we were up there to the mountains of where Cades Cove and all that is, and I can't think right now what I'm trying to say. Yeah, for the orange ones, we'll do something for Halloween. I've actually got, let's see, I don't think I have pictures on my computer of some Halloween things I actually did, but I think I got some pictures on my phone. If they'll come through up there for y'all. I did something over there, some stuff. Everybody kind of liked all that. If y'all can actually see them. The lighting will be off, but that's big door hangers, different sizes. I'm thinking to make some more with the pumpkins. The eyes are going to be a glow in the dark instead of that black. So, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know about copyrights. I don't know about that. But now I actually made one for a friend. But I know anything around here, especially anything with Hocus Pocus on it, that may be backwards for y'all. I apologize. But anything with Hocus Pocus is going crazy. I did make some slate coasters. If y'all can see those. That does not pick up real good. I'm sorry. This one right here is Freddy Krueger, Chucky, and then It on slate coasters. So those are real good. But I'll tell you a secret. Don't tell nobody. You can actually find it on Etsy. But if you want to just do like a little bit of woodwork, a very big Halloween seller. If I can find it, I really need all this stuff on my computer, I guess, get off my phone so I can take y'all to the screenshots. It's right in here somewhere. There they are. There they are. Right here. The Halloween themed knives. You've got, I think it's Scream, Friday 13th, Freddy Krueger, and then Michael Myers, Chucky, and It. And the knives are probably about 14 inches long. They're really, really easy to do. And I'm telling you, everybody goes crazy over those right now. So, any of you Halloween fans, but so that's my little secret. Don't tell nobody. Let's see. You have to with what everyone wants. Yeah. So, like I said, around here, it's people go crazy. Like right now, August the 1st, they'll start decorating their yards. It's kind of like the ones that decorate, and they start November 1st, start decorating for Christmas. And we hadn't even got, Thanksgiving here, but they'll start that, So, they go crazy, crazy, crazy over Halloween. They've already started decorating around here with those big skeletons you get from everywhere. Tractor Supply has got the chicken skeletons right now on sale. Jerica sent me a picture the other day. Won't know if she can get one or no. It wasn't. We're here August, the 3rd or 4th, whatever, the 3rd, yeah. And I said, there's no, we're not putting that in the yard right now. We still got August, September, and then October. So, but yeah, the door hangers is a real big thing. They're real simple to make. And then those knives are another simple thing. So, anyway, Mr. Chuck, you hadn't said a whole lot. What are you up to over there? We start here into September for Christmas because we can have snow. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And here, I do not remember ever, since I was little, I don't think it's ever snowed on Christmas. We've got snow in April. I mean, craziest thing ever. Had a snowstorm in April a few years back. And it was weird as everything. And I remember several years back, me and my ex-wife, we were at her family's for Christmas. And I remember wearing a short sleeve shirt, pair of blue jeans, and my cowboy boots, of course. And I was burning up on Christmas Day out in the front yard trying to play with the kids. And it was awful. So like I said, the way the weather does. But at least if you got snow, I mean, if it ever snowed here on Christmas, it would be like a miracle and people would go crazy. So I did live up in Nashville, Tennessee for a little while, May of 05 to February of 06. I lived up there and it was interesting. But now the people here, when it snows, they go crazy. They run to the store, buy every loaf of bread on the shelf, every gallon of milk, like we're going to be snowed in for a month. And it's just, they go nuts. And then when I lived in Nashville, it snowed up there, and I mean we got a pretty good bit of snow. It was just a couple of inches. I mean on the ground. I don't know how they actually. I'm not sure how the weather folks calculate that. There'll be that much snow that you're stepping it up to your ankles or up to your knees, and they'll say you're getting 3 inches of snow, but then it'll be a light dust, and they're like, we got 6 foot of snow yesterday. So I don't know how they figure all that up. I just know that to me, when I went out to my car that day, I mean, there was probably, 6 inches of snow that I was stepping through to get to my car, and I was going to work. I worked the prison up there. And I stopped by the store for a minute, go grab some stuff. And I walked in, and it was like perfectly stocked. All the milk was there, all the bread was there, nobody was there running around. And I was asking one of the bag boys, he asked if I needed any help. I'm like, no, I'm just surprised y'all have so much stuff stocked. He's like, yeah, we try to keep it pretty stocked in here. I'm like, no, I mean, it's snowing. We got a little bit of snow on the ground already. And he's like, it don't matter up here. But up in Tennessee, people riding around, and there was just no wrecks hardly anywhere. Down here, it comes a few flurries, just a couple of, snowflakes here and there, and people, they'll start wrecking and running off the road and killing each other. And so they did that here because of the blizzard of 98. Massachusetts was shut down for a week. I think the last big snowstorm that we actually had here was in 93, and it was a pretty good one. It really was. I remember I was a senior in high school in 93. It was a long time ago. And my girlfriend's grandfather at the time, he loaded up a trailer behind his tractor. They put bales of hay on there, square bales of hay, and grabbed some old blankets, and he took everybody for a hay ride. It was a bunch of dirt roads around the house. They come by and got me, and we went on a little hay ride on the tractor, the dirt roads, and we ended up pulling out several people that tried to get to stores and couldn't get out. So, but see, designing some round business cards. I'm sorry, I don't know how I missed that. Never actually seen the round ones. That'd be kind of interesting. I've made several of my own. I even like the little metal business cards. Matter of fact, I got some in my pocket right here. I've made some just playing around, and it's not really my best work, but I was just making a few of them, the different colors. And like I said, got the purples and the blacks and the greens and the yellows and all that, but I've never made round ones before. So that might be interesting. So I'll get back in there. Yeah, well, I've actually took what was that I was making? I was doing paint can holders. I had a bunch more paint and stuff, and I didn't have enough. So I was doing some more paint can holders. And I took all the circles out of those. And I was actually, there's some of them, like the little paint can holder right there. I really like those. But I was taking those little circle cutouts, doing the same thing. I wasn't really making business cards, but I was putting my logo on them. So, just bored sitting around that day. 69, I went to Tucson, Arizona. They had 12 inches of snow. It was gone in 6 hours. I can about believe it with the weather there, but yet, I mean, the mountains and stuff, if you ever get out there, and they always got snow on them everywhere you go. So, I know, of course, when you get higher and higher, it gets cooler and cooler, but I've sold some stuff. Well, I sold a few things here and there, and I was telling the young lady earlier that I don't like selling my stuff too much because I always, people say it looks nice, my photography's okay, this and this, but when I look at it, I always feel like I could do a little bit better. And so I don't want to sell stuff. But like Jericho's telling me all the time, you need to sell this stuff. I'm like, I just feel like it's just not, I don't think it's good enough. I think there's something wrong with it. and I will nitpick over something until I find some little blemish somewhere on my work, and I just like it ain't worth selling. I'll just give it away. So every now and then I'll sell stuff if somebody just bothers me about it, won't leave me alone. Then I'll just quote them a price or something, and maybe they'll just stop and go away. But I've had several people tell me, "Okay, when can I get it?" I'm like, I mean, that's like a $10 project. I just told you, I tell you, $30. And they'll tell me all the time, "Oh, I know, I'll pay 30. I mean, it's worth it." And I'm like, "Okay." So at that point, I really can't not make it. I've already said I would, and then plus they're giving me 3 times what it's worth. But I'll end up doing like $20 or something because I'll feel bad about it. I feel like I'm ripping them off. But I've had people that's not complained at all. And they'll pay $30, $40 for it. I made a big wooden cross the other day with the Lord's Prayer on it. It was in my hand, and it's like a almost 2 foot high. I made it for a lady that works with Jerica. I think Jerica told her like $25, $20 or 25 or no, she told her $20. She told her $20 for it, and she ended up sending me 30. And I told Jerica that she had paid too much, and when she questioned her about it, she's like, "No." She said, "I love that thing, and it is beautiful, and it's worth $30, and that's what I'm gonna pay." I'm like, "Okay, well, I really thank you for that." So they'll, I guess, give me tips, I reckon. Yeah, we are our worst critics, and like I said, that's my problem. But I finally decided. Clax talked me into it. Here's what he told me. He did the same thing when he first started. That's what we talk about all the time. He tells me all the time how he gave away a bunch of stuff. He gave me I mean, I couldn't tell you. I go over and talk to him and say, "Hey, I need to get this made or this made," and I wouldn't have the equipment here to make it. So we start turning on his CNC or whatever, and we start making whatever we want to make. And I try my best to pay him for it, and he'll tell me every time, "Nope." So, but like I said, we're like brothers. He's helped me out tremendously throughout the years. We've always been there for each other. If he's had a fight with somebody, I've always stood behind him, make sure it was a one-on-one fight, and he's done the same thing for me, stuff like that. We've always, if we get whooped, we get whooped together. So if we go down fighting. And so stuff like that. But he told me, he said, "I gave away so much stuff." He said, "I'd make it, just enjoy making it." And that was me too. I enjoyed making it. But then it got to where people started expecting you to just give it to them, and they've taken advantage of you. So that's what I would start telling them. Hey, I would like give them a ridiculous price just to get them to go away and leave me alone. And they would start, I'll pay that. I'll pay that. It's like, I wouldn't, but okay. So, but like I said, it's been the same way. I've probably took, with all my photography stuff over the years, I've probably took, God, close to 100,000, if not more, pictures and stuff. And people will go look at them or whatever, and they want to look through my stuff, and I'll let them look through, and they're like, "Hey, I love that picture." I'm like, "Yeah, that's not so great." And they're like, can I buy that picture from you? I want to get it framed." I'm like, that picture is not my best work. And people just have fits. I'm like, I want that picture. So I'll give them a copy of it or something, and they'll actually have it framed. I go to their house later, and it's hanging on the wall. So I'm all right. But yeah, his videos, like I said, he's just like he is in real life on them videos. He don't put up no playing or anything. I mean, he's the same person you see on that video, same person he is. We're both in law enforcement. He'll tell you that. So, we've dedicated our lives to helping people, and we're both about at the point of retirement. He's got another year left, and I can actually, if I can get things straightened out, I could actually leave this October with 29 years in. And he's got next year. He can cut out October next year. So I'm going to stick around and probably just retire with him next year in October. And we'll both just, well, he's going to be at the shack working every day. So, but he's that same person. Like I said, he'll help you out any way he can. But the same way with anybody else, if you just keep on, and you get stupid, he'll get stupid back with you. There have been some trolls out there that's, just get stupid on his videos, and he'll tell you right fast. Like, he's made videos about that. He'll tell you, I'm not gonna let you mess with me like that. So, but like I said, I've seen him help out a lot of people throughout the years, and I'm sure you've seen him on the videos. Klein, and then Wilson hasn't really been on many of his videos, but he gave all of us some of his stuff, some of the lasers and some of this, and no way he has the boat to take out. Yeah, he just bought that boat, but like I said, he helps us all out with these lasers and all this stuff, and it gets in his way. They keep sending him more and more stuff. He doesn't have anywhere to put it, and so the bigger, better stuff he gets, some of the other stuff, he's like, "Hey, do y'all want this? Y'all want that?" And so that's where I got my start at. And he won't let me pay him a penny for any of it. But yeah, he just got that boat about a month ago, I think. And he actually went fishing yesterday. I didn't have time to go, but he told me he's going to go yesterday. And he did. He went out one time whenever he was down there at the conference this week. He made a little short video on that. So, but yeah, he'll give away some of his files and stuff to help people out. He'll show you how to make them. And that's the thing about it too, is even when he makes files, sells them on Etsy or whatever else, people will call him. And I'm going to tell you, when Clack is a perfectionist, and I'm not scared to tell him to his face, he knows this. I would never say anything behind his back. I would never tell him to his face. He is a perfectionist, and we used to call him MacGyver back in school. If it could be made or fixed, he could do it. He could figure out a way to fix it. He could figure out a way to make it, and he's still that way to these days. He can make anything, fix anything, and but he's a perfectionist with it. So when he does something, it's got to be perfect. He can't do a halfway thing. It'll drive him crazy. His OCD type deal, it just drives him nuts. And so somebody will download his file, and then they'll email him like, "Hey, this file's not working. It's no good. There's something wrong with it." It's like, no, I've sold probably 100 copies of that file, and everybody's been able to burn it. Everybody's been fine with it. And it'll be something that the person will actually do, and he'll walk them through it. And they're like, "I'm sorry. It was my fault." So if there's ever anything wrong with a file that he makes or anything else, it's a very minute deal that he just overlooked. But he will fix it quick, fast, in a hurry, and he'll send you the right stuff. But a lot of his stuff that he makes, he'll send it out to me and Klein and stuff like, "Hey, y'all download this and y'all burn it real quick. Make sure it works for y'all." So we'll go out there and put a piece of wood on the laser, and we'll burn out whatever and put it together. It's like, yeah, it works for us. So we're kind of like his test dummies too. Yeah, he does figure everything out. There's not a whole lot. And the way he's got his shop set up now, that CNC, I mean, he made a boat, not a boat, he made a bracket for the spare tire holder for his boat. It was broke. He had a piece of old aluminum sitting there that he had been messing around with. He goes in there within 10 minutes, he had it cut out, and, excuse me, I'm sorry, but he has it cut out, and we're literally putting it on the boat. So, and he went in there with the CNC and made some, not CNC, I'm sorry, with the 3D printer. He makes some stuff for it. But if you'll look at his videos, a lot of his laser stuff, I mean, he puts a laser together. If there's something that's just not right, that bugs him, if the wires don't stay in a certain place or something else, he'll actually go in here and he'll make a piece. And matter of fact, my lasers have pieces all over them, covers and little holders and all this, that he'll actually make to fix that problem. He'll get it in his head, he'll figure it out, and he'll go in there and he'll make something. So if you ever get a chance, he lets you come to the shop, or to the shack, I mean. When you walk in, I guarantee you 3/4 of the stuff that he has in there, he has made himself. He'll have a tool rack over here that he's made. I can't even explain to you. But he goes here, he makes everything. Anything and everything. So I love him like a brother, and like I said, I won't never talk bad about him. I'm not talking bad about him now. I'm just telling you the honest truth that he is a perfectionist, and he is a MacGyver. We have made many, many things together throughout our life. I couldn't tell you everything that we've done, and so. But between both of us, he usually figures out about 90% of it, and then I'll come up with like the other 10%. It's like, shit, oh no, Clyde, what about this right here? He's like, I forgot about that. I'm glad you saw it. So I help out about that much. So yeah, and you'd be amazed too. I mean, he'll tell you that shack is it literally started off as a shack. He had his boat up. No, yeah, he had a boat years ago, and he had a motorcycle at one time, and then his tractor and all that. Hello, woman. You want to come in and say hello?
Oh my gosh.
Jerica. I can't get her around.
No.
Choke.
You already.
You come on in and say hello real quick. I done told him I'll go ahead and answer
Hey,
the phone
real
you
quick.
called. But if anybody doesn't know, this is Jerica.
I look so fat.
Did y'all hear that? I look so fat.
Had to change and done my hair up.
Yeah. Me too. I put
I
makeup
know,
in.
right? You forgot your hair gel.
Yeah, well, I didn't have any hair bows, so the curling iron
I
wasn't.
told you I left them next to your curling iron.
The curling iron wasn't plugged up, so
I
I
can't
could.
leave it plugged up all the time.
Well, I couldn't
Burn
fix
the
my
house
hair.
down.
But yeah, his shack, that's where it's got its name from. It started off as a little like a pole barn, and then he got the idea one day that he wanted to make a little woodworking area, and he saves himself tons by doing his own fix. Yes, he does. He does. And there ain't nothing. And if there is something he does not know, he's not too proud. He'll tell you. He'll go out and watch a video, or he'll call somebody. Like, hey, I need your help. Show me how to do this right here. And once they show him, usually once, he may have a question or two about it, and then it's locked in his brain, and he knows it for life. So, I mean, electrician, plumber, he can do almost anything. And I've called him many, many times. And the thing about it is he is so smart, though, too smart sometimes. Ooh. But he not only is a genius about actually making things, but he does like financial decisions. He actually determines, other people go out here and they'll, like me, I go out here and I spend money on this and this and this, and I give it away later. It's like I get this hobby and then I get tired of it and I give it away. My birds, some of my pigeons, literally I can give you the website. You can go on here and look. Some of those birds were worth between $5,000 to $10,000 each. I didn't give that much for them. I did give way more than I should have, but my racing birds, I wanted that bloodline, and I spent some money on that. And Jerica, she stood behind me, and she's never fussed at me. She can do what she wants to do. I don't fuss at her. She spends her money, whatever. And so, but he makes all these decisions. You're like, you'll never use that. And then he'll come out with 15 things that he's did within a week. So, Brandy, his very first laser that he bought, Brandy was kind of like, I don't know why you need that. And Clack's like, well, I can do this and this with it. And she's like, I don't know about that. But Clack works all these, used to work all these side jobs and stuff. I did too, security and all this. So he would save up his our play money, as we call it. And, we have our real jobs, pays our bills, and we have our side jobs for our play money. And he saved his money up and bought a laser. And then, like I said, it went from that one D1 that he got to, y'all see it now. Y'all watch his channel. He's got everything over there. He's done with now to CNCs, to 3D printers, to almost every kind of laser you can ask for. He's got CO2s, he's got fiber, he's, diodes, he's got everything. So it all started with one little old laser that was close to about $1,000. That little 10-watt little thing, and now he has went from that to just boom. Got a massive, we're still growing every day, YouTube channel, and there's always somebody wanting him to make something. That's where those tumblers come in. He made those other ones. And he actually, some of the jobs, he just doesn't have enough time for them. Oh, yeah, forgot. I'm sorry, too old. I forgot about the sawmill. Yes, he has a sawmill over too. We don't hardly use that anymore. Both of us done got so old. I used to go over and help him somewhat. But yeah, like he said, since the back surgery, he'll still get out there and do it. I think when Steve come down, they got out there and milled up a little bit of wood for Steve, showing him, made a video about that. But yeah, his sawmill, actually that's where it started pretty much, was his sawmill. And then he ended up getting a laser with the money he made from the sawmill. He bought his laser. But that sawmill is what is how he built that shack. He milled probably 95% of the lumber that's in that shack right now. He actually milled it himself. Went and storm damage or somebody wanted an old tree cut down or whatever. But he'd ride around with his trailer and see these big old logs on the side of the road. It was like, hey, are y'all wanting to haul those off? They're like, yeah, but we don't have money to pay nobody. He's like, well, I'll tell y'all what, I'll take them off. You let me have them. And people's like, yes, sir. Yeah, we're getting a great deal. You're hauling them off. And they don't realize he's finna turn that log into, everything else. So, the bees. Yeah, he's got bees. He's got some of my bees over there. I've still got one hive out here. And I've got a second hive. It's just an empty box right now. But yeah, my bees swarmed one time. And my hive is still just as strong as it's ever been. I've got one of the craziest hives out there. I mean, they can swarm, half of them will leave, and I look in the box, and they're still packed in there like sardines. So, but now Whittle, you've seen him on a couple of Clacks videos. Whittle gave me a hive to get started with, and that hive has grew and grew and grew. And like I said, it swarmed. I know it swarmed twice, if not 3 times already on me. And one time I just got home from work and I saw them swarming. And I called Clack and called Whittle. And I went to Clack's house and got his bee vacuum. And Whittle come over after work. And me and him called it, and I took it back to Clack. And that's where he's got one of my hives over there now. And he's offered to give it back. I told him just keep it. I don't need it. I've got enough out here that I can split off if I want to. But I'm not really a bee person. I got my bees, and you would never guess it, but I got my bees just for photography. I want to do some close-up photography of the honeybees and stuff. So that's why I got my original hive for, just to do that, play around. And I've kept the hive, and I don't know how they're still alive, but those bees are some of the strongest ones ever. And they've only got a hold of me one time. I was cutting grass, and I wasn't thinking. I've cut grass and went by that hive 100 times. And that particular day, they were angry. They were swarming around outside. There's probably a couple of hundred of them just swarming outside that hive. And I was driving on my zero turn, driving towards them, thinking the whole time, I'm seeing them. I'm like, why are they so mad? I said, something's got them ticked off. And instead of me thinking, using my little bee brain, say, hey, let's cut that area later. That was where I start and get it knocked out. I just kept on going. And I went right on by there. And about the time I got about 12 foot, 15 foot, maybe past the hive, a couple of them hit me. And then they all started hitting me. And I was wide open on that zero turn. Still had the blade engaged. I'm going across the yard, just cutting a groove right across there. I went all the way from one side of the yard to the other side, trying to swat at them, and I figured they would go back to the hive. No, they kept on. So finally, I jumped off the lawnmower. It cuts itself off, no safety deal. I jumped off the lawnmower and run all the way. I got like a little over an acre right here in the front, and I ran all the way that 1 acre to the road. So I'm a little over an acre from the hive, and they're still coming after me. And I get out beside the road, and they finally stopped hitting me. So I'm thinking, okay, they've turned around and went back. No, I just outrun them for a moment. And they caught back up with me and started popping me again. So I run back towards the house, trying to get all of them off I could. And I run in the house, and Jericho's like, what is it? I'm like, bees. I said, they're eating me up. The bees. I got to get out of the yard. And I had like 2 that were still on me. And she went to screaming because she's allergic. So here I am trying to catch those 2 and either kill them or get them back outside. So I got stung, I think like 6 or 7 times. It wasn't that bad. It's more than I wanted to, but it wasn't that bad. It was enough to get my attention. I put it that way. And I learned next time I see them swarming that area is off limits until they go back in or they calm down. And Clack swears up and down I hit the hive with a rock or something on the lawnmower. I'm like, Clack, I didn't even have the blade engaged. I'm literally driving towards them and telling myself they're mad, you know. But my brain wasn't comprehending that you might want to turn around. I just kept going. But I got right up to them, engaged the blade, and started cutting, and they started popping. So I don't know what had got into them or what had bumped that nest, but they were upset. They were very, very upset. But yeah, I got them, like I said, literally just for photography purposes, and part of the farm, you know, just having something else to put in the videos. And I don't know enough about the bees. I'll go out here. I've showed them in a couple of videos, but I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't want to make too many videos about it because, you know, if I say something wrong or do something wrong and somebody thinks that I'm smart enough to know what I'm doing and they do the same thing and, you know, something happens to theirs. So, but that's where I'll definitely learn a lesson on that one. Like I said, I know now if they're going crazy, I stay the other way until they calm down. But I'm trying to think. Other than that, I say they've swarmed twice, and we've caught them once. They landed like wasn't even 12 foot from the hive. They landed on a little pile of wood that was out there on the edge of the wood line. They landed on a branch and balled up around the queen. So we were able to catch those. They weren't even 2 foot off the ground. The second time I saw them swarming, they went over the trees and went back to the woods, and I didn't try to follow them. I wasn't climbing no tree to go try to get them. So, let's see. I wonder if I can actually... Too old up there where you're at, how many like bald eagles and stuff do y'all have? I think we talked about that last time. I just can't remember. I said my brain gets a little foggy. I think you said y'all have quite a good bit up there. But I'm trying to look for a second. Clack talked me into getting one of these Steam decks, and I cannot figure out how to use this thing. There it is. Yeah, I can do it. Okay. Goody, goody. I'm going to try something here and show you a couple of pictures I took. There's a lot of them up there. That's what I was thinking. I thought you told me that last time we talked. I'm going to try to see if this will let me do a screen capture deal. Yeah, I'm going to show you if I can actually get this to work. I'm not sure how much you can actually see on that. There's a part of a moose pick we took up there in Tennessee. Gatlinburg is what I was trying to think earlier over at Cades Cove. But that was up there at Cades Cove years ago. And then this is some of the local pictures. Can you actually see the pictures? I guess that would be a good idea if I actually... I've still got the chat going on, so I'm going to make sure you can actually see the pictures. And if you can, I'll keep showing you a couple of things. I'm still trying to figure all this out, too. But, well, I know I had that picture pulled up. There it is. That's one around here. Had a nest. This has been like 2 years ago. But I was about 600 yards from that nest. It was out in the middle of a little clear cut, and you can see where she's actually feeding the baby something. There's a big one baby. There's actually two babies. There's one right here and one right here, and she's flew in with something. Widow had my camera. Whatever. Let me see. Can you see 2-0? Can you see my pictures? when I'm showing them, or are you just getting this crazy screen that I'm on right now? So you can see my pictures? Okay. I didn't want to show you a bunch of stuff that you couldn't see. You be sitting there talking, and then you wouldn't be able to see what I was talking about. But like I said, that's one. That was another, same thing pretty much. And like I said, it's just straight out of the camera. But I was gonna say this. You see his one of the little heads looking at me. There's one of the other heads right there. But yeah, they knew it was there. But Whittle had took me to that to see the little babies. I put these on here the other day because somebody was asking me about them. If you ever watched the movie, oh gosh, I forgot the name of the freaking movie. It's filmed down here in Alabama, and it's on a little island down here, part of it. But anyway, that was a big banana spider that was down there at that movie set. And then, of course, one of my little buddies. It's Jackson Island is the actual name of the island. Oh, Spectre. Spectre is the movie city name. Yeah, arachnophobia, yeah. I was actually, that thing was about 20 foot up in a tree, but I've got a big 600 millimeter lens on my Nikon. That was actually took with a 7100. I had to think for a second, but I've got that big lens that I can take pictures. So I was about 20 foot from that one whenever he was taking that one. So I was able to zoom in. That's why I like the honeybees. They don't usually bother me unless I, start bothering them. But I can get over there within like 10 foot from them, and especially for that big lens, and I can, watch their antennas move around. So, yeah, this one right here, I said Whittle, Clark's buddy, well, my buddy too, he works with us, but he had told me he had an eagle nest down there across the street. He lives way out in the country, and his neighbor has that nest in their little field out behind their house. It's a little clear cut. It's a monster, massive pine tree out there, right in the middle, the only tree left, and there's just stumps everywhere else, and those eagles. But Whittle has a pond in his backyard, and that thing is full of catfish, full. And he said he'll see those eagles come in all the time. They'll come down, grab a catfish, and they'll land by the edge of the pond and actually eat part of it, and they'll fly back to the nest with the other half. I can about imagine they don't want to disturb them. But like I said, I remember when I was little, I had an eagle fascination. I still do. But I had a real big fascination with them. But when I was little, only place you'd ever see them was on TV, like Yellowstone National Park and all that, because they were endangered, and I'm probably know they still are. But I mean, like Alabama now, there's probably within a 30-mile radius of me, there's probably 25 or 30 nests. Down in Prattville, Alabama, there's a big park down there, and the ospreys and the eagles are everywhere. And then, like I said, down at the river, the eagles are everywhere down there. And, easy fish catching and everything. So they're all down around the river. People see them all the time. But there's actually one, I'm not sure where the nest is, but I've saw one flying over my house about twice in the last year. And then at my work, I've seen one flying around my work a couple of times. And matter of fact, back when we did the Peach Jam, when Clark was doing his little video for the Peach Jam, I was actually working policing that day. And I'm over here blocking off some roads so people can't get in there and run everybody over. And I look up, and there's this bald eagle flying right across where everybody's over here. Nobody even looked up and saw it. I pointed out to a couple of people. I'm like, hey, have you ever seen a bald eagle in real life? They're like, no. I might look above your head. And they looked up, like, oh my God, you can see his white head and everything. I'm like, yeah. So he was flying around the park that day. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come visit one day. Like I said, I'm gonna retire probably next year and want to do a little bit of traveling. So I may end up riding up that way one day. And if I do, we may have lunch or something. You guys take me and show me the Eagles. So, but let's see. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I keep coughing. Why are my viewers hidden? That's weird. But anyway. But anyway, I'm going to get off here and leave y'all alone. It's been about an hour and almost 22 minutes now. Like I said, I just jumped on here. I was bored. Was going to see who was around. I think I'm going to start doing this weekly, either Wednesday or Thursday nights. I hadn't decided which one yet. I know a lot of folks go to church on Wednesday nights. If you do, we can go out on the razor. Yes, yeah, I love razors. We got them around here, and I said, me and Clark, I literally, I sold my Harley when I bought this house, and I ended up, I didn't really need the four-wheeler or any of that, so I sold everything when I moved here. I had that shop, but I didn't have my barn or to park everything. So, but yeah, I kind of missed my Harley, and I missed my four-wheelers and all that. So I'm thinking about getting another one. Jericho wants one that she can ride into the mailbox and back. But we used to get together and go ride four-wheelers and razors and all that about every weekend. A bunch of us folks get together, and like I said, nobody does it anymore. So, but anyway, but I will talk to y'all later. And like I said, I'm going to try to start doing this either on Wednesday evenings or Thursday evenings. I'll make my mind this week maybe and put out a little short about it or something. And I said, we'll talk about whatever again. But I appreciate y'all hanging in here. And like I said, I'm going to go see Jericho. She just got home a while ago. She got off work, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time with her. But I really appreciate y'all, man. And like I said, always, I thank y'all for joining in. I have a video on Bobo Crow Trail and awesome. All right, I'll go over in a little bit. I usually when I lay in bed in the evening, I'll watch YouTube. So I had to go in there and look at that one. I know you said you had some other videos too, so I'm going to go check them out real quick and here in a little bit. So, but I'll talk to y'all later, and it's been fun. Appreciate you joining in.